We hear about AI literally every single day. But it's so much more than just a new gadget or some clever chatbot. What we're really looking at is a seismic shift, an economic force that's on par with the Industrial Revolution, and it is absolutely on track to completely redefine how our world works.
But what does that actually mean for us? Beyond all the futuristic headlines, how is this technology really changing the way we build things, the way we grow our food, and of course, the way we work? So let's break down the real-world impact, and we're going to start with the sheer scale of this economic revolution.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we need to look at two things. First, what AI actually is in its different forms, and second, just how mind-bogglingly huge its financial impact is going to be.
Right, so it's probably easiest to think of AI on a kind of spectrum. On one end, you've got assisted intelligence. Think of simple tools like your phone's GPS that just help you make a decision. Then, things get a little smarter with augmented AI, which actually learns alongside you. And then, way over on the far end, you've got full-blown automation and autonomous systems. We're talking self-driving cars, factory robots, things that operate completely on their own. And understanding that range, from a simple helper to a totally independent agent, that's absolutely crucial.
And the economic scale here, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. Projections are showing that AI could add nearly $16 trillion to the global economy by 2030. Now, that is not just some big number. That's more than the entire current economic output of China and India combined.
So, where does all that incredible value come from? Well, a huge piece of that puzzle is being put together right now on the factory floor, which is getting a radical, and I mean radical, upgrade. This is leading to the rise of what people are calling the lights-out factory, a facility that's so automated it can pretty much run in the dark. If you look at places like Tesla's Shanghai plant, you'll see cars being assembled almost entirely by robots, with AI managing every single thing, from precision welding to the final quality checks.
And the results? They are staggering. This isn't about making tiny little tweaks. We're seeing near-perfect quality control with a 99% reduction in defects, huge efficiency gains with 30% less energy use, and a 50% drop in downtime. This is a fundamental rewriting of the rules of manufacturing.
And believe it or not, it doesn't even stop there. Companies like BMW are now building digital twins of their factories in these virtual spaces, like the NVIDIA Omniverse. What that means is they can simulate and optimize every single process before a single physical bolt is ever turned, and that reduces their complex production planning costs by a massive 30%. But here's the thing. This revolution isn't just for those mega factories in developed nations. In fact, some of the most profound changes are happening in places where you might least expect them.
This is where the AI story gets really exciting. It's actually allowing developing economies to completely bypass those traditional, really infrastructure-heavy stages of growth and basically leapfrog directly into the future.
I mean, just take agriculture in Africa. Instead of waiting decades for infrastructure, a farmer in Ghana can now use satellite data to monitor the health of their crops. A coffee grower in Ethiopia can get super precise climate forecasts to protect their harvest. This isn't just about efficiency. It's about empowerment. It's giving them access to premium markets and making sure they get paid fairly through secure digital payments. It's a game changer.
Of course, all of this leads to the one big question that's on everybody's mind. What in the world does this mean for our jobs?
The typical story we hear is the scary one, right? The fear that robots are coming for all of our jobs. But the reality is proving to be much more interesting. It's turning out to be less about human versus machine and a whole lot more about human with machine. A huge part of this is the rise of cobots. These are collaborative robots that are literally built to work right alongside people. And when humans and robots team up, get this, studies show worker idle time can be cut by a staggering 85%. This frees people up from those repetitive, boring tasks to focus on what we do best, problem solving and being creative.
And just like every single technological leap we've seen in history, this one is creating entirely new kinds of jobs. We're going to need trainers to teach the AI systems, explainers to act as translators between the tech and the business worlds, and sustainers to make sure this all runs ethically and responsibly.
So, the real challenge isn't a lack of jobs. In the U.S. manufacturing sector alone, there's a projected shortfall of 1.9 million workers by 2030. The real issue is a skills gap. We have to prepare the workforce for these new collaborative roles.
So we've seen the factory and we've seen the farm, but trust me, that is just the start. This wave of innovation is pushing us into completely new frontiers.
We're seeing the rise of industrial 3D printing, which is on track to be a $90 billion market. We're seeing these tiny, hyperlocal microfactories bringing production back into our neighborhoods. We are on the cusp of next-gen transport, like the Hyperloop, and we're using AI to create green fuels to help fight climate change. It's all connected.
So from the factory to the farm, from our jobs to our planet, this transformation is already here. The tools, amazing new tools, are in our hands. So really, the only question left is, what kind of future are we going to choose to build with them?